Hi, my name is FC, and in today's video we are going to be talking about automation. So recently I had a great question on Twitter from Nico about how I automate things. Now, I've been doing pen testing now for almost 3 decades and I've learned a fair few things, right? I've done a lot of things wrong, I've done a lot of things right. Why would you want to automate? Whether you're doing bug bounties or pen testing, time is always of the essence, and automating seems the best thing to do in order to take advantage of that time constraint that you have. But we have to think about a bit more fundamentals. What are you automating and why are you automating them? Now, I personally automate a ton of stuff, but to answer this question of what you should be automating and how you should be automating it and why you should be automating it, you need to have a better understanding of how competent you are. Now, I know that's really not the answer everyone's looking for, but competency is key, because if you don't understand why you're doing things and how your tools are going to react and how they're going to spew out their results and all of the things that might go wrong, you're going to be in a world of hurt. You're going to make trouble for yourself, because the automation process is actually going to make things a lot harder for you. So first of all, are you competent enough to automate things? It seems simple, but please do answer that honest. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't automate things. You really should, because it will help you. But just make sure you're automating the correct things in the right way. Otherwise, like I say, you're going to make things a lot worse for yourself. So what do I mean by all of that? Keep a note of next time you do a test, right? Which you should be doing anyway, but you'll find there are things you do manually every single time, right? Maybe it's you do a search through all of your Nmap results for FTP servers, or maybe you're looking for admin in some subdomains. Those are the sorts of small, simple tasks that you can automate. Don't try and automate the entire process, because that will break something, right? Because if you're not used to the tools, they will break in some random way at some really horrible moment, and you'll lose a lot of time and you'll waste a lot of effort. So how do you actually automate things? What language do you use? What frameworks do you use? What are you trying to achieve? Well, you can ask 100 different hackers and they will tell you 100 different ways of doing it. So I'm not going into, use Python, use Perl, use Go, use Rust, use a framework. That doesn't really matter. How you're automating is really not as key as what you're automating and why you're automating. As with anything, what you use doesn't really matter as long as the tool matches what you are trying to achieve. So figure out what it is that you want to automate first, and then choose the correct tool or language to do that in. Another thing I see people getting wrong all the time is automating the wrong things for the wrong reasons. So let's set up a scenario, right? Say we have to scan 255 hosts, right? And they've got 65,535 ports open. We don't know which services are on which host, right? So we've got to scan the entire thing. Now, do we spend time automating the Nmap process to get all of those results and then pass all those results once we've done that, right? So we do a full Nmap scan of all the ports across all the hosts, and then we get some output, and then our automated tool goes through and does a bunch of grepping through all of that, right? That's going to save us loads of time, right? No, not really. If we're looking to save time, there are better ways of doing it, and that is understanding the tool and making sure you're using it in the correct way. So what do I mean by that? Well, one thing you could do is run Nmap in parallel, right? So you have a little automated script that kicks off an Nmap scan only for port 21, right? So you find all the FTP servers across those. That will come back way quicker than doing a full scan. You can then have different scans for different things, right? So you find all of the web servers or all of the database servers, for example, right? Each one's its own little scan and it will run in its own time. But if you wanted to go really, really fast, you could start looking at all of the little flags and all of the little things that you can do to manipulate Nmap to be even faster. So you can start looking at the rates and the groups, those types of things, to see if it will respond quicker. Start looking at the timeouts, seeing if you can do less repetition, right? So when it fails, how many times does it try, right? All of those things can massively speed up Nmap way quicker than doing the automated part. And then if you really push for time, right? Say you're in a CTF or you've only got X amount of moments to find everything, then use the verbose mode, right? Because Nmap with the verbose mode will start printing out ports as soon as it sees it. It doesn't wait for it all to be collated together and then output it. So understand your tool much better than automating the end product, right? Because I can guarantee you do all of that much quicker than waiting for a whole scan and then passing that data. Now, that's not to say that in the real world you wouldn't run that full scan as well, because you do want that coverage, especially for a pen test. But if you want quick results, understand your tools. So I know that's probably not the answer that everyone wanted in this video of like, what do you automate? How do you automate it? It's really understanding the fundamentals of what you're trying to achieve and understanding that you need to know your tools absolutely inside out before you can start to automate them. Otherwise, things will go wrong. So really, the unfortunate conclusion to this video is try and understand why you're trying to automate things. Are you just trying to get the low-hanging fruit as quickly as possible? Well, there's probably better ways of doing it. If you are automating tasks that are small, that are repetitive, manual tasks that you do on every test, then automation is absolutely the way to go. But find out how your tools work is absolutely fundamental, that you have to know before you can start to automate things.